Hey guys, give it a couple more minutes for some more people to roll in before we get started. For those that want to follow along, there's a Zoom link now in the stage chat. All right, well, it's 5 minutes after the hour, so I think we can get started, and hopefully some more people will roll in. GM, everybody, welcome to the Product and Creative Workstream Office Hours. I am going to share my screen and on the Zoom. Just give me one moment. Okay, can you see that, Foxy?
Yes, I can. Sorry, I was looking at the Zoom and then had to go find the mute button.
That's okay. I was like, okay, let's give it a minute. Cool. So thanks, everybody. We have a few different topics to cover with you guys today. Some of you may have been in the roadmap meeting we had in E1, I think it was earlier, like an hour ago. We're going to go over some of the roadmap stuff, where things are at, and plans for the future. And then today's kind of a Beard special with some UX. He's going to show us the gem integration flow that he prepared, which is a fiat on and off ramp provider for the new web platform. And then he's going to show us some of the stuff he's been putting together for the keep key settings, bringing those into the new web v2. I'm going to touch on some additional Yearn vaults, and then I'm going to give an update on Pendo. And then Decentralized J, he is the product owner for Foxy, which is the bounty that Eric Voorhees put out that's being worked on by an external engineer. But he is representing the product side of that project. So he's going to give us an overview and an update on that project. And then Gray Machine is going to show us some really cool stuff that he put together for ETH Denver, and Hoff has some stuff he wants to show off as well. So with that said, I'm going to just dive right into the product roadmap. And please feel free to interrupt, jump on stage, ask questions, or post things in the stage chat. And then also, as always, we'll have time for additional questions or ideas that people have that they want to bring forward at the end of the call. But we always welcome questions during as well. Cool. So the product roadmap. We just had a big sync up with the engineering work stream and some other stakeholders from other work streams, and went over everything that's currently in flight and then things that are coming up. One of our goals is to be able to ramp up on how quickly we can get stuff done. And on the engineering side, one of the ways that we're going to start doing this is by getting more bounties ready. So all of the staking on Cosmos, staking on Osmo, all of the Cosmos ecosystem support is going to be handled mostly by the core engineering team. And that's already in flight, but that's a massive project, a massive, I guess, epic, you could say. And I think they have something around like 60 plus tickets for that specific project. So all of this is a pretty major do. So we're trying to figure out on the product side with engineering, which of the upcoming projects we can bounty out to external engineers. So Gem, the on and off ramp provider, you guys have heard about this before, that bounty is ready and somebody has already picked it up. So in a minute, Beard will show us what that looks like. Should be pretty straightforward. And then on Juno, which is also a fiat on and off ramp provider, we're going to get that ready to bounty out. There were just a couple things on their side that we needed, but it should be very similar to the Gem integration. So we'll have 2 fiat on and off ramp providers in the new web app. The core devs are also working on the additions for Yearn. There's some additional Yearn vaults that we want to bring in that have really juicy APRs, and we want to get those up on the new web app. And then if any of you guys are following along with the proposals, what's happening is that we have Fox farming, which is the second round of the Fox farming. That is going to be sunset, I think it's the end of this month, end of February. And then Fox farming V3 will start. So those, I think they're going to be handled by the core devs as well, but they should be pretty straightforward because we already did V1 to V2, and then just doing V2 to V3 should be very simple swaps on the engineering side. And the UX, we've already done all the UX for that, so hopefully the lift on those will be very minor. The ability to download your history, we have this on beta.shapeshift.com right now. This is awesome because you can download it and then upload it into Luca Tax or one of the other tax platforms, and it'll just parse it for you and let you know like your gains and losses. So that feature, we're going to bring that over into the new web platform, and we're going to put the specs together and the UX together for that, and that will be bountied out. Keep Key. For the Keep Key hardware wallet users. This is, so Keep Key was historically a ShapeShift product actually, but it's been sold to a third party. However, that third party are still very involved with the DAO. And in order to keep our Keep Key users happy, and we have a ton of Keep Key users on beta.shapeshift.com, and we want all of these people to happily migrate over to the new web app. So we are going to support Keep Key setup and Keep Key settings in the new web app for the foreseeable future. Long term, we're hoping that kind of spins off and becomes its own application. But for now, we do see the value that even though it's not a DAO specific product, we do think it would be a drop in the bucket for a bounty. And we do think that it would be very, very measurable as far as the amount of users that it would keep in ShapeShift in the ecosystem and the amount of users that it would bring to the ShapeShift ecosystem. And then being able to set your default currency in the new web app, that's something that can also be bountied. Treasure support and ledger support. These are possibly treasure can be a bounty. I think I'm trying to recollect the conversation we had with engineering earlier, but it seems like it should be a pretty straightforward integration. We did have a relatively decent number of users on beta.shapeshift.com using treasures directly with the platform, and hopefully it shouldn't be too big of a lift to do the same on the new web app. Hi, Willie. Do you want to chime in?
Hey, yes, we had some good advancements this past week related to ledger support in the V2 app. And I know, one thing we were considering is adding support for ledger natively. So just like you can connect your QP, you can connect your ledger. Unfortunately, due to some design, some architecture decisions for ledger, it's pretty unique relative to QP and Trezor. And it's got these apps that users need to switch between, and they need to, have the Bitcoin app if we want to get all of their XPubs. It's kind of a mess. But because there's an integration with XDeFi that's already in progress from a community member. XDeFi is a browser extension wallet. It's multi-chain, and they have ledger support. We also had a call this past week with TallyCash. They're also a multi-chain browser extension wallet. They're not multi-chain yet, but they're working on Bitcoin support right now, and that's on the roadmap. Because of that, we might be able to skip the ledger integration, just like a lot of apps have, and then just right now you can connect ledger through MetaMask, but it's ETH only, of course. With XDeFi and soon after with Tally, you might be able to forego doing the native ledger integration and just push users to connect their ledger to through XDeFi, for example. Just wanted to chime in because I don't know if we all discussed that yet, because a lot of it's just really recent updates.
Thank you. And please post your questions in the stage chat if you have them. Thanks, Willie, for jumping on the stage. Cool. And then, sorry, just covering a lot. And then Thorchain support. This is currently exists on beta.shapeshift.com. Obviously, this is for cross-chain support trading. So we want this in the new web app. We want people to be able to trade with their Bitcoin. So this is another big lift. Probably, it sounds like it was going to be the core engineering work stream that would work on this. As far as I know, but I think Adam was saying that there might be some pieces of that we could probably bounty out. So that would be awesome. And then what am I missing? I'm just we went over a lot. So I just want to really look back at my notes. Tokamak integration. That's also something we're going to get the specs ready for. And then what else? And then adding support for other EVM networks and trading. I don't know. I think there was conversation around that being a bountyable, hopefully. But I guess we'll see what happens with that. Noah, is there anything else that I'm missing? There's a ton more stuff on this roadmap, guys, that I feel like that's a lot, and that's pretty much the next couple months of work. So I don't want to go too deep into the weeds.
Yeah, you covered pretty much every line item. I think one of my big takeaways from that earlier meeting was just kind of the focus level and prioritization that engineering is going to have, and really trying to focus more on the high level aspects, making sure that all the abstraction layers for all these different potential integrations and chains are all set up, so that hopefully we can continue to bounty some of these app specific or protocol specific integrations, as long as kind of the underwork is already done. I'm not sure if Willie, you want to come back up here, but I know you have that real nice vision for the future of ShapeShift, of course, and kind of how product and engineering will contribute towards kind of some L2 and just other L1 support. But yeah, it was a really good meeting, and I think you covered pretty much everything, Diggy.
Yeah, that was a great meeting. Looking forward to kind of the tentative roadmap that product and engineering have aligned on. Right now, as everyone knows, Cosmos is kind of the big focus for the core engineering team. Not just doing support for Cosmos, but doing it in a way where you'll be able to stake Cosmos, and it'll be very easy for any developer to come add other Cosmos SDK zones, at least the core functionality for like send, receive, and stake, delegate, unbond, all that type of stuff. So that will be awesome. And we also talked about potentially having some of the more lead senior engineers take on some projects with external development teams and contributors. So some not just one-off bounty tasks, but slightly larger, more like closer to epic new features. So we are going to explore working on either, it sounded like the two kind of top most interesting epics that we felt a lead engineer could work with an external team to do, while the majority of the engineering work stream works on Cosmos. Or one, taking the great single-sided staking UI UX that we've created for Yearn and making it so that it's very easy to add additional single-sided staking opportunities that have the same UI UX as Yearn. And there's a ton of really cool ones out there. To name a few: Harvest, Pickle Finance, Badger. We've already talked to Badger, by the way, about doing the affiliate revenue program, and they were into that. We've also talked to Harvest about that. We haven't talked to Pickle about it yet, but we have a pretty good relationship with them, and I think that they'd be open to it as well, from what we've seen. So that's exciting, and some low hanging fruit that we think will really take the app to the next level. It's great that you can deposit to Yearn, but as soon as there's multiple opportunities beyond Yearn, now it starts to become interesting. The other piece, like Fox Cloud was alluding to, is support for these other EVM networks. So we've got support for Ethereum mainnet. That's really the hard part. Now that we've got support for Ethereum mainnet, there's a bunch of forks of Ethereum or other EVM networks that we can support relatively easily. I don't want to oversimplify it, because there's definitely some big brain work that needs to happen, but it's a lot less work than just getting Ethereum supported, and it's going to be a big win. And the cool thing too is that once we support these other EVM networks, a lot of them have 0x trading already supported. So 0x is a trade aggregator that we use to route trades to the best DEX on Ethereum mainnet. Also aggregates DEXs on these other EVM networks. So once we support, and the API interface is the same. The API is the same. So once we have support for the other EVM networks, we should be able to flip on 0x trading relatively easily. And that will, again, be a big improvement to the current V2. So those are the kind of things that the immediate next features that we are planning to prioritize. Additionally, we're going to be, like Diggy said, creating a lot of bounties for things like keep key settings and stuff that we think external contributors will be able to crush no problem. So obviously a big push right now is to get to parity with beta.shapeshift.com. As soon as we can do that, we can start migrating all those other users to the new ShapeShift, just focus on ShapeShift V2, not have to maintain multiple apps. Then slowly start the process of sunsetting V2. So that will be huge. But we're thinking about what's the next big interesting milestone, because getting to parity with beta is good for us, but it's not necessarily the most interesting thing for the broader space. And we have to balance getting to parity with beta while also making sure that we're delivering the value that crypto users want. So the next kind of big milestone that we were chatting about with engineering earlier, and it seemed like there was some strong consensus that this is a good next target to aim for, is once we have support for Cosmos and these other Cosmos zones, which is already in progress, the next big thing will be Osmosis, of course, Osmosis trading and liquidity providing. One other thing that we'd like to consider prioritizing right after that, the next big thing, as soon as we can, is bridging. And so right now there's not a decentralized bridge between Ethereum mainnet and the Cosmos ecosystem, but they're under development right now, and they're coming soon. And ShapeShift right now is will be one of the few apps that supports both Ethereum as well as Cosmos, plus a bunch of other different chains. But specifically, those two are pretty big. Cosmos especially is getting a lot of traction lately. It's got a great community, and there's been a lot of development. And so it'd be great for ShapeShift to be ideally a launch partner, or if not a launch partner, just support that bridge between Ethereum and Cosmos ASAP. It's the two big ones are the Gravity Bridge and EVMOS. And then users will be able to do stuff on Ethereum, these layer 2s. They'll be able to trade and earn yield. They'll be able to bridge over to Cosmos, do stuff over there, trade, earn yield. And ShapeShift will be one of the few places where a user can do that in one place without having to, for example, use MetaMask to send their stuff from Ethereum and then switch over to Kepler to grab their Kepler address they want to receive it at. And we can make it a much better experience and enable users to do it all in one place. And then after that, of course, is aggregating bridges. So once we have the bridge between Ethereum and Cosmos, also supporting the bridges between all these different layer 2s. So yeah, that's kind of the high level. Looking forward, we got a lot of work cut out for us, but there's some good alignment there, and so that kind of helps inform product on the specs and stuff that we need to make sure we have ready.
We're about to have a tidal wave of specs and UX hit us, so. But it's exciting. I'm excited at the level of bounties that we're going to be able to put out. I think it's awesome, and and I'm super excited to hear too that engineering is ramping up their manpower. They are trying to hire for the core engineering work stream, so that'll be awesome. Thanks, Willie. You're always so good at giving like the high level vision and overview. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. Can't wait for this tsunami of specs and bounties. It's gonna be awesome.
Totally. Yeah, there's a lot of work on our hands, but that's okay. It's fun. We're down it. Cool. So I didn't see anything pop up on the stage as far as questions go. So I'm going to turn the reins over to Beard, and he's going to show us the flow he put together for the gem integration, and also what he's been working on for the key settings integration into the new web app.
All right, I'm a speaker. Cool. Is my mic working? Okay, looks like it is.
Yeah.
Bueno taco. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Cool. Whoop. Whoop. Okay. So we put together these screens and flows for how Gem basically works in beta, but with how we do everything now in the new web version. It's a pretty simple implementation. So there'll be a new buy sell button in the nav bar. When you click that, you'll get a modal, and this will list all the providers that we are currently hooked into. So Gem will have first, and then OnJuno will be the next one. It shows you a little bit about, like who they are, what they do, what they support. And then you click on that. And this is very similar to how beta works. You can select you want to buy or sell, and then the asset you want to buy. Once you select that, you'll get the same asset selector that we have pretty much everywhere else. Once you select an asset, it'll tell you where your funds will be sent to, shows you your address, and then if you're on a hardware wallet, you can verify your address. And then once you're done selecting that, you hit continue, and then Gem will open up in a new browser tab, and you'll basically be able to complete everything from there. And that's how the sell side works as well. Basically the same exact thing. And what you're doing here is basically setting up all the information that Gem needs in OnJuno, hopefully, to create an order. Very, very simple, very straightforward. Is there any questions on that? I don't see any.
No, somebody wrote, Decentralized J wrote Bueno Taco.
Yeah, Taco Bueno. All right, cool. I'm going to go over the key stuff. All right. So if you've used the new web, you've probably seen this drop-down we have, which has the connected wallet, the wallet provider, switching that, disconnecting, and then some other stuff. If you have a key connected, you'll now have a sub-menu you can go to if you click this. And this will give you all the details about the key wallet, like the bootloader, the firmware, if there's an update available, the label, the pin, and then some advanced settings that you can configure, like passphrase. So if I were to go into passphrase, from here I can just easily click this switch. It's going to prompt me to hold the button on the key to activate it. Once I've done that, it's now enabled, and I can go back to the menu, and I can now see that passphrase is enabled. Changing the label is also super easy. You click that, change your label, hit save. All right, crazy cake key. All right, now I've got a crazy cake key. I can't even say it. So very simple. You can change the pin. Once you get here, you hit update pin. You have to hold the button. Once you've done that, enter your current pin, set your new pin, confirm it, and you now have updated your pin. Woohoo! Another really, this one also goes along with like initializing new keys and recovering. So I'm going to do that. If I were to wipe my device, I'll get a wipe my key modal. That'll pop up. Same kind of interface here. It tells me I need to press and hold the button. Once I've done that, my key is wiped, and now it's in like basically a factory default setting state. So I can either initialize it as a new key or I can recover it. Let's say I have a seed already. I want to recover. I hit recover. I give my keep key a name. I select the new pin I want to do. I confirm my pin. I select what my recovery sentence is, 12, 18, or 24. And did I ever select the recover with passphrase when I set up the key, the recovery sentence? If I haven't, which most people haven't, it's kind of an edge case. I hit recover wallet. And from here, I can start entering my recovery sentence in, and you will get a cipher on the keep key that has all the words scrambled, and you just type in the corresponding letter here. All you need is 4 characters. Then once you've done that, this will go through all 12. Basically, it's one as a progress bar. It'll set up your device, and you're connected. Woohoo! That's basically the entire flow. Initialization is kind of the same thing. If I could actually get to it.
I still can't believe how quickly you put all this together. Pretty impressive.
It's nice and easy to do stuff with the new. Here you go. All right, so if I initialize a new keep key, I do the same thing. I set a label, I set the pin, I confirm the pin, and then the keep key is going to walk me through all of the words in my recovery sentence. And we just want to make sure that everyone writes this down. And then once they've confirmed through all the steps on the keep key, we can maybe test them on the sentence. I don't know yet. Apparently this has been worked on before. So I need to find out more information on testing the recovery sentence, which will be dope if we can do that. Once assuming you can do the test, pass the test, we'll initialize the device and your keep key will be connected. So very clean, easy. Any questions on this? Okay, no questions.
Just compliments.
Fire taco.
Dude, that looks awesome. Yeah, I think there might be a couple of other pieces we might need, but yeah, dude, you put it together so quickly.
It's cool. Awesome. I went through a bunch of the keep key stuff, all the documentation that ShapeShift has written over the years, and I ended up seeing Fox McCloud in his acting debut, so that was fun.
Yeah, he's famous for his keep key videos.
Yeah.
Those
all right.
hands. Yeah.
Good hands.
Yeah.
Hand model.
Cool. Thank you. All right, let me pull back up. So the next thing I wanted to touch on was the additional urine vault. So I just want to share my screen. Okay, this is a urine finance, and as you guys know, in the new web app, we have a lot of these, or not a lot of them, but some of them. Some of these vaults already active in the ShapeShift ecosystem, but there's some other vaults that have really juicy APYs. So right now, they're working on getting some of these going so that we'll have these visible inside the new web app. And hopefully some of these juicy APYs will encourage people to interact and deposit into these vaults. But we're super excited about it. And it just gives us more earning opportunities in the ShapeShift platform. So I just wanted to touch on that for anybody who wasn't aware of that. And then Pendo. So you guys have probably heard us talk about Pendo a lot. If you aren't familiar with them, they are an analytics platform that also has user guidance. So the guidance, and if you can see my screen, kind of looks like this. So one of the reasons we're really excited about getting Pendo in the platform, and just before I dive into that, there are going to be 2 versions of the new web app. One version will be completely private. We'll not have any analytics or any guides. And then the other version of the web app is going to be like an alpha version where we release new features first in their infancy, and people can opt in to using that platform. And in that platform, it will have analytics and these guides, which will be awesome. So especially for people who are newer to DeFi and aren't as familiar with some of these more like complex integrations that we're going to be having. It'll give them the opportunity to really learn as they're moving through the integrations that we've done. So we're super excited about this. I think it's going to make us stand out in the DeFi space as being a place where somebody who's trying to make that transition between like a Coinbase and a Uniswap is as that middle experience where they can actually learn and don't have to go out and watch a bunch of YouTube videos before they feel comfortable interacting with our platform. So that proposal had passed a while ago. Mr. Nerdhair did a ton of due diligence and like really dove in on the security side and worked with us and worked with the engineering work stream. And we've now aligned and we're able to get that over the finish line. So coming soon, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we will have 2 versions of the web app. And then we're going to be working on the product side with probably the support team to get these guides up and running. So that'll be awesome. And we are also looking forward to getting, community feedback once these guides are up, and community feedback for where we might need guides that we don't have them. Anyway, so I just wanted to touch on that for people who weren't as familiar. And then other things, they have other features like allowing us to do on-site surveys and things like that. But our biggest, for us, the guidance and then the insights, the analytics are super critical on the product side. Cool. Does anybody have any questions? Let me just check the stage chat. Yeah, Noah's famous videos. Cool. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Decentralized Jay, and he is going to give us an update on Foxy. Let me see if can you come up here by yourself, or do I need to invite? I'm going to, hopefully you can pop up here. Cool, there you are. Hi.
GM, everybody, how are you? Thank you, Diggy. I don't have a whole lot to show on the Foxy front because it is still very much in the development stage. But for those who aren't aware, Foxy, sometimes also called SFox, is basically the new, I'll call it, premier asset for ShapeShift DAO and Fox supporters to hold. The idea is that it allows Fox holders to stake their Fox into a smart contract in order to receive rewards denominated in Foxy, Foxy standing for Fox Yield. So Foxy is an ERC20 rebasing token that's redeemable 1-to-1 with Fox tokens. And the idea behind it is, and where the money comes from, is that these rewards are generated via the ShapeShift DAO's treasury swapping for tokenmax token rewards. But the project really aims to provide a design that I'll say is extensible into the future for other alternative yield generating strategies. So big words to say that right now it's designed to bring toke in and swap it for Fox and have Fox holders benefit from it. But in the future, as the tokenomics workstream expands into other avenues, that those will be incorporated into the Foxy kind of dynamics as well. So basically, the ultimate goal is for Fox holders to be able to generate the maximum amount of yield on their Fox without any active management. That is done on the ShapeShift Foxy side of things. So on the product side, been hard at work on the product spec, and Beard and I have been linking up to make sure that we're on the same page about how it looks, how it feels, and how it's going to operate. And then on the engineering side, I spoke with Toshi earlier today, and the smart contract functionality is getting close, and he's hoping to be able to be testing within just 10 days. And then once those designs are finished on our end, he is good to go and have a kickoff with the platform engineers and get them started on that piece of it. So everything is speeding along at quite a clip, and I'm super stoked about it. It's going to be a fun project and really cool for the DAO to have something like this in existence. So yeah, that's a little bit about SFox/Foxy.
Cool. Thank you so much for giving that update. I'm glad to hear it's moving so quickly too. That's awesome. All right, let me see. I think next we were going to have Gray Machine come up and show off his booth design for ETH Denver. Let me see.
What's up? Hello? Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thanks. That was smooth. Yeah, so I guess shifting gears a little bit, I've had up the sort of the little pocket within product where we handle design and creative services and stuff like that, kind of intermixed with products, but also other things. And one of those other things lately has been ETH Denver and working on stuff for the booth. And I'm going to share my screen here. I think I am going to share my whole desktop. And can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I was just messing with stuff and I screwed up this texture. Anyway, well, what I was going to show was sort of the process, a quick overview of the process, because this would take a while. But we have a tight space. I keep calling this like a conference, but they tend to call it a hackathon. And the booths themselves, they suggest that they're pretty tight, like 6 feet. The area of the booth is the width of the table, right, which is six feet, and then the depth is kind of unclear, but at one point I did hear to plan on basically like a 6 foot by 6 foot space. And then they had given us a vendor to go to for things like banners and table throws and backdrops and stuff like that. So with those specs, you kind of end up with this puzzle of pieces to get together. And I just am a fan of pre-visualizing things, so that we want to, that we make sure that things, as much as we plan, are actually going to fit and make sense. So the things we had planned on are having my speakers. Okay, hopefully that doesn't change anything. A banner like this, this thing right here. Table throw, or at least, there's a table and then we put a throw over that. And then kind of unclear was like what the backdrop was going to be. And they had a thing for us to, of course, buy. So there's a backdrop back there. And the way, I don't want to go through like a modeling tutorial, but like the way this comes together, like if I'm just making a table, I might start with a cube, and I have the dimensions from ETH Denver in feet. So I'm able to switch my units over to feet. So I could say I want a 6 foot table that is, I think it's like 6 by 3 by 3, right? So here's my table, and I can start kind of pre-visualizing that, round off the corners. And then like throwing a table throw on this, I could just create a material and throw that on there, and then map the artwork that I'm using. And what's cool is that I can texturize this using the Photoshop document that I'm working in. So that means I can use a multi-layer document as I'm working with it in Photoshop, which I'm trying to find right now. In fact, I have it open in Photoshop right here, and that is in, ETH Denver booth banner.psd. Okay, so booth banner.psd. Oops, you know what? I'm actually I'm mapping the banner to the table, which is totally the wrong thing. But okay, so let me make the banner real quick. I think it's it's like 7.3 by, I'm just gonna call it 3 by whatever. Oops, I did it wrong. I need it in Y. 7.3 by about 3. Right, so that's the banner, and then I'd make a new material for that. Throw that on here, and now I would assign materials. And this would be the banner.psd. And it's saying, do you want me to move it to your current location? No. So then I would just kind of adjust the texture here. And so, this is using UV mapping. I want to say map this using flat mapping. There we go. And then, so as I work on it, what's cool is that I can kind of pre-visualize the artwork in the space that it's going to be, right? Because here I can say, edit the image, right? So if I click on edit, it's gonna, I've just resized my, I don't know if anybody ever happens this on Mac OS. If you've resized your resolution, this can happen sometimes where it pushes it outside. There we go. And this is not even showing my layers. Well, if you could see it, this would show all the layers, right? So I can work here in Photoshop layers. In fact, this is linking to what's called a smart object in Photoshop, which is actually linking to Huff's original artwork. So I can maintain the original Illustrator artwork, embed that into Photoshop, use the Photoshop as a texture here in Cinema 4D, and just kind of pre-visualize everything as we work on it, and just kind of, get a reality check on when we design stuff, what it's actually going to look like. So we've got the table throw, we've got the banner, and then our fancy video, which I tried to change the texture in there at the last second, and I have it like flipped upside down and backwards. But this also gives us an idea of like, well, how big of a monitor do we need? Like if we put it on the table without a stand, that would like take up most of the table, right? So we know we need a stand, and this is a 43-inch monitor, so we know like if we get something smaller, it's gonna kind of feel kind of weird. So anyway, just kind of gives us a reality check, and then we can render this out. In fact, I think I have a rendered view, or I could just hit render. It's going to render really slowly right now because I'm using a CPU renderer on this older computer, but and then we can render it out. And if you've not seen the latest render, I think I've got one on my desktop here, and that'll be the last thing I show. Something like that, right? So and then we can kind of look at this, and then I can also send this to the printer as we submit the artwork. This is kind of a proof of, this is like what it's supposed to look like once everything is converted for print. Yeah, that's really about it. And one of those things we'll be putting in there is an update to this promo. We have all new interface stuff to put in here, so I've rendered it out with missing footage, and After Effects just replaces it. But we've got stuff in here like, you've earned Fox back on this. Like, well, we'll have to change that. So we'll be working on the video that goes in there. So probably the promo video, or the Web V2 launch video, that's already done. And then we've got this little thing here with a couple blurbs from Eric. I've already replaced the interface in the background with another new updated version. Defocused it and made it color match everything. So we'll have to do some more creative stuff like that. So that's what you'll see at the booth in ETH Denver if you're there. And that's all I've got. And I'm going to stop my share.
Awesome. That was so cool. And thanks for the Cinema 4D tutorial.
Yeah, I tried to keep it very short. But,
that was awesome.
It's cool to see, like, usually in 3D you're working in meters and millimeters and all that. But you can actually flip it over to imperial measurement and start measuring and doing a reality check, right? Like, this table is 6 feet wide. What does that look like? What does that space feel like? So I find it useful.
I was like to see how you, how like an image, gets used in a 3D space, how it becomes like the texture for the 3D elements. It's super cool. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let me just see if there's any questions before Mills is writing something. Okay, next up, I think Hoff wanted to show us a couple of things he's been working on. Also, I think they might be for ETH Denver as well. Can you jump up here?
Right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks. All right, let me go over to Zoom. So I'm just going to show a few things on Webflow that we did. We did the navigations kind of new. So if you've been to web or shapeshift.com, yeah, we now have Try V2 here. We have a link to the old Shapeshift there. So it's kind of new. Been posting a lot of blogs lately. We have a new one up today on the Fox Angel Vault. So just kind of been doing a lot of formatting and stuff like that. Yesterday we posted new one on validating on osmosis. Just gonna read all the good stuff. And I think we did another one too yesterday. Oh yeah, it's like it's a great article of our open source with layer security. It's good, just good refresher for any security stuff. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on Webflow lately. Also, I built this little landing page for the ETH Denver pre-party. It's kind of got some fun like little parallax stuff going on. This is where the event's hosted. It's kind of cool. Sorry, I'm at editor mode. It doesn't usually say edit site there. So it's kind of a new illustration. They wanted like some sort of hikers or explorers at the foot of the Rockies. So kind of used some older illustrations, mixed with some little stock imagery, and kind of created this for it, which is kind of fun. And yeah, it's really about it. Don't have much to share this week.
Cool. Thank you for sharing, Hoff.
Yeah.
I like the hikers. Are they pointing at the fox?
Yeah. And I can kind of see the flowers. It's kind of fun. Cool.
Cool. Thanks. Awesome. So if anybody has any ideas or questions, please feel free to ask in the stage chat or jump up on the stage. And otherwise I think, wrapping up. I don't know how many office hours we've had, but wrapping up this office hours.
Now's your time to pitch. There was a question yesterday at the Ask Anything lunch around, if you have an idea for an improvement to the product or a new feature, what's the best way to suggest that to the product team? We do have, if you go to app.shapeshift.com, there's a link to submit feedback, and we do review that regularly. But office hours is a great time. And shout out to Marley. We used to do office hours internally at ShapeShift, and Marley was probably one of the best. That he would come very prepared with ideas for features, very well laid out. And I'm trying to remember, I feel like some of the stuff that he pitched may have gotten implemented. But anyways, it's a great way to, a low effort way to share your ideas and get feedback from both the product community and the product team and the broader community. And if anyone does have an idea they want to bring up, now is a great time. Otherwise, it does sound like we're wrapping up, but maybe next time you guys can come prepared with some feature or improvement ideas.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll bring Lo-Fi Radio back up on the stage. And thanks everybody for coming. I don't know if this was like our 10th one or which number it was, but thank you for coming.
That's why we need the POAPs.
Oh yeah, that was one thing I was going to mention. I'm hoping to get a POAP for the next one. So fingers crossed there. I was talking to Tyler about it the other day, so I think we're ready.
For whatever reason, this meeting didn't show up on the calendar, and on my like Gmail calendar using the new calendar little plugin thing. So I don't know. It's just something I noticed.
Try re-uploading it. Yeah. Maybe like delete the old one and try re-uploading it and seeing if that works.
Yeah, I did that. So it seems updated on everything else. Just wasn't sure if, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't on the calendar for some reason. Not sure.
It's on the calendar that I have uploaded, but yeah, I don't know. You could reach out to one of the mods and see.
Cool. Sorry.
No problem. Thanks, guys. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, L. GM.